Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into n8n, a platform that's doing way more than just automating tasks. It's totally changing how technical teams are building the future with AI-powered workflows. We're going to go on a little journey here through 5 levels of mastery, all the way from simple automations to complex AI systems that can, well, practically think for themselves. This quote from a user on Reddit just nails it. It perfectly captures what n8n is all about. It's the difference between a simple, fun hobby project and a really robust client-paying system. So what does that journey actually look like? Well, it's a progression through 5 distinct levels, starting with something super practical, saving money, and ending up at the really exciting frontier of AI-driven automation. Okay, let's dive into level 1. For so many people who start using n8n, the journey begins with one single, powerful motivation: cost. Before you can build the future, you gotta make the numbers work, right? So this first level is all about winning the automation cost game. And trust me, it's a huge game changer for anyone who's ever felt the sting of a massive bill from platforms like Zapier or Make. Have you ever built this amazing, super powerful, multi-step workflow only to get absolutely smacked with a shocking bill at the end of the month? Yeah, it's a common story. See, most automation platforms have a pricing model that scales with complexity. They're basically punishing you for building the very things your business needs to grow. But n8n, it just completely flips that script. The numbers on this slide really tell the whole story, don't they? Just look at the insane cost difference as you scale up, especially when you compare it to Zapier. At 50,000 operations, you could be saving over $1,000 a month. At 100,000, it's even more staggering. So this isn't just about saving a few bucks here and there. It's about a fundamentally different and frankly, much saner way to think about pricing. So the secret sauce to n8n's cost savings is right here. It's execution-based pricing model. While other platforms are nickel and diming you for every single task, n8n charges you just once per workflow run, no matter how many steps it has. Think about it this way. With a task-based model, a 100-step workflow costs 100 times more than a one-step workflow. But with n8n, they cost the same. This one simple change has huge implications. It gives you the freedom to build really sophisticated, powerful automations without that constant fear of a runaway bill. Okay, so once you've won the cost game, you are free to focus on what really matters: building automations that aren't just clever, but are truly production grade. This is where we hit level 2, what I like to call the pro playbook. This is all about building reliable, efficient workflows that can handle pretty much anything you can throw at them. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is trying to process a huge number of items, like say 1,000 contacts from a CRM, one by one in a loop. It's just a recipe for disaster. It often leads to server crashes or hitting API rate limits. The pros, though, they get the power of batching. It's like the difference between trying to carry all your groceries in from the car in one trip versus making a few easy, manageable trips. It's just smarter, way more efficient, and a whole lot more reliable. And this right here perfectly illustrates that pro-level pattern for batch processing. So you start by splitting a big job into these smaller, more manageable chunks. Then you process just one chunk at a time, often with a little wait node in there to be polite and not overwhelm an API. And then the node automatically loops back and grabs the next chunk until the whole job is done. It's a simple concept, really, but it's absolutely the key to building rock-solid, high-performance workflows. The other secret that all the pros know is building for failure. Because in the real world, APIs go down, data gets messy, things just break. A pro-level workflow sees this coming and builds in dedicated error paths. These paths can catch problems, shoot you a notification with the details, and then stop the workflow gracefully. It prevents a tiny glitch from snowballing into a major catastrophe. As one user said so well, it's like having airbags in your car. You hope you never need them, but man, when you do, they can save your life, or in this case, your business-critical automation. All right, so you've mastered the art of building individual, rock-solid workflows. Now it's time to level up again. At level 3, we're shifting from building just one great workflow to architecting a system that can handle thousands of them at once, processing massive amounts of data without even breaking a sweat. This is where we get into architecting for scale. The key that unlocks this kind of scale is a really powerful feature called queue mode. Now, in a standard setup, the user interface and the workflow executions are all running in the same process. And that's fine for smaller stuff, but it creates a serious bottleneck when things get busy. Think of it like a single-lane road. When traffic is light, everything's great. But rush hour, everything just grinds to a halt. So just imagine a sudden spike, 10,000 requests hitting your workflow all at once. In a standard setup, it would be total chaos. The user interface would get super laggy, maybe even crash. New triggers might time out before they even get processed. It's a mess. To solve this, n8's queue mode splits the work into specialized, separate roles, basically turning that single-lane road into a multi-lane superhighway. So here's how queue mode works its magic. The main node acts like a traffic controller. It serves the UI and puts jobs onto a queue, which is managed by a super fast message broker called Redis. Then, the heavy lifting, the actual workflow stuff, is done by a whole team of dedicated worker nodes. And the beauty of this system is that it's so scalable. Getting more traffic? No problem. Just spin up more worker nodes. It's like adding more lanes to your highway, making sure your platform stays fast and responsive no matter what. I mean, some organizations using this are reporting up to a 10 times increase in throughput. That's the power of building things this way. Okay, you've mastered cost, reliability, and scale. You are an n8n Pro. But what happens when you hit a wall? When there's no pre-built integration for that niche internal API that you absolutely have to connect to. Well, at level 4, you don't give up. You build it yourself. This is where we go beyond the limits. This right here is n8n's ultimate superpower, total extensibility. You can create your own first-class custom nodes, and you have 2 ways to do it. The declarative style is a low-code approach, and it's perfect for standard REST APIs. You can define everything in JSON, which makes it super fast and easy to get going. But for the more complex stuff, like a GraphQL API or a custom trigger, you can use the programmatic style. This gives you full control with TypeScript. It's the perfect balance of speed and power, letting you connect to literally anything. We've made it, the final frontier of n8n mastery. This is where automation goes beyond just simple tasks and starts to orchestrate intelligence itself. But before we jump into the world of AI agents, let's look at a surprising fact about n8n's foundation that actually makes all of this possible. It's a choice they made years ago, but believe me, it is paying off in a huge way today. Over 91% of n8n's codebase is written in TypeScript. Now, this isn't just some boring technical detail. It's a strategic choice that has massive implications for the future of automation. TypeScript's robust, type-safe environment gives you the perfect foundation for building the next generation of automation, agentic workflows. It's the solid ground that we can build the thinking machines of tomorrow on. So what exactly is an AI agent in n8n? Well, think of it as the brain of your workflow. Unlike a normal node that just follows a fixed set of instructions, an AI agent uses a large language model to reason, to plan, and to make decisions. It follows this simple but really powerful pattern: trigger, agent, tools, and then output. The agent gets a trigger, say an email from a customer. It decides which tools to use, like a knowledge-based or a CRM, and then it produces an output, like a personalized response. It's a huge paradigm shift from just simple task execution to intelligent problem solving. And really, the possibilities are just endless. You can build these incredibly complex systems with different types of AI agents. A tools agent could act as a smart router, figuring out whether it should search the web, query a database, or call a specific API. A plan and execute agent could take a big request like research our top 3 competitors and write a summary, and then break that down into a bunch of smaller, manageable steps. You can even create multi-agent systems where several specialized agents all work together, remember past conversations, and use external knowledge to complete really complex tasks all on their own. It's like having a team of AI-powered assistants working for you 24/7. And that brings us to the end of our journey, all the way from the practical side of controlling costs to the really exciting frontier of AI orchestration. n8n gives you a platform where the only real limit is your own imagination. It changes the fundamental question from if you can automate something to how you'll automate it, and ultimately what you'll build. The power is in your hands. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When automation has no limits, what will you build?